Tim.
And then a wee intro playing, this is what the
ears literally burning.
Yeah.
I see. I said I was going to initiate the gong.
I had to move it.
Get off the seat.
Absolute fucking territorial by these things.
Yeah, he pissed on it though, like, you know it's his.
Yeah. I'm not, it's not
I shout on it.
It's not every day you get to start a beginning with a gong. I'm passing that up.
So we're going to podcast episode number 4 now. So today we're actually joined by the band Nassau. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Oh, three of us.
Thank you very much.
Just for having us, mate.
We appreciate it, guys. We appreciate you taking time coming on today.
It's a lovely day.
It's a really
great day for a trek.
It's nice because we're away from the sun in the window.
It's getting bright in here actually. So how you guys doing then?
Pretty good, yeah. Just busy.
Shaman.
Chamois. Felt like.
You want to introduce yourselves then to the podcast then?
Alright.
I am Sin. I do vocals for Nassau and Sweat.
I am Clark. I play drums and hit things with sticks.
I'm Magnus, I play guitar.
And I'm Chris, of course. And I do the podcast.
Yes.
So great stuff, guys. So we can go through a wee t-shirt question as well. Everyone's wearing their own various t-shirts today, actually.
Oh yeah.
One shirts and suits.
Yeah. Explain your attire.
That's what I've worn for the last 200 years.
But you gotta know about Sid, he's a cartoon character. Like, you open his wardrobe and it's just exactly the same outfit.
Yeah. I look like a drowned cat if I wear a t-shirt. I do, it's true. But no, this is just what I wear. It's cheap. It's all very, very cheap. Like this jacket was reduced to clear at Tesco's. They do reduce to clear clothes. This cost me like $3. That's it.
Today I am rocking the Periphery shirt from the Juggernaut Alpha album. No. Is it Alpha? No. Yeah, it is Alpha. That's the Alpha cover.
Decapitated? Why not?
Yeah.
My only best album.
So good.
I came in to listen to them. They did a new song with Ginger.
I
didn't see that.
I didn't check that.
It literally just came off my Spotify when I was in the car.
The OG technical death metal.
Technical.
Technical metal. No, not Czech. Are they?
The Polish.
Polish, yeah.
Polish,
That's it. Kind of in that neck of the woods right now.
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, they're so good. There's a song off that album actually. I'm thinking the song. I'm thinking it's really catchy. What is that again?
Spheres of Madness, maybe?
Maybe that one. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. That's the one. That's a great one.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, saw them a couple of months ago in Glasgow. Absolutely fucking slayed it. So
It's really good.
that was really good. Never seen them before, so yeah.
No, I've never seen them live. I've seen them play Glasgow. I've heard them come into Glasgow a few times, and I've never really thought of it. They're the band that got in trouble, didn't they? You know, they had that thing, didn't they?
There was a lot of.
It was a bit of that, for like a wee while away.
Yeah, they were accused of sexual assault, and there was a big kind of hullabaloo about it. And I think I can't remember how it ended.
Well, basically there was no. They were charged and found like not guilty, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't any. There was basically no evidence,
Mm-hmm.
and no one else came forward about like similar behaviour elsewhere. No one.
Yeah.
There was no. I mean, as far as I can tell, you know, there wasn't really any charge to answer particularly. You know.
Yeah, it's tough because you gotta give credence to people, but at the same time you also have to establish a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially when it's like your word against someone else's.
Yeah.
It's a pretty grim thing to start with.
I was sitting here being like, this is like my Friday morning. Was it Friday today?
It's Saturday.
It's like my Saturday
Close.
morning.
You get better.
Looking off at the floor being like, this is trippy.
Yeah.
So this is why it's also part of the reason why I don't wear band shirts. So you don't get accosted by random metalheads in a co-op.
Did you know that Zippy McDippy did this?
Zippy McDippy? Which band's that? Rainbow.
An improvised name, I guess.
Well, that would be a very different Rainbow concert, yeah.
I know, right?
The not old school
The
ones.
well-installed.
Not the prickly ones, you
Yeah,
know.
that's design choices.
You know, the prickly ones in the horror movies and that, not those types. You don't see them in the future, eh? Because everyone's getting LED lights and they're not, you know.
Are those my LED?
I think they
They look
are.
like they are.
Yeah, it's an LED strip.
Yeah, those sort of lights, aren't they? I think they're quite new. They must be quite new because they don't look old at all. They must have done this when they were doing this place out, you know.
Mm.
And we've got a big backdrop as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, frying pan art.
I'm really loving the
I
art.
hope that's in the shot actually. But yeah, good backdrop if you see all the art and the drum.
And a gun.
We've got that as well. That's a good backdrop as well.
Yeah. I'm letting Sin play with that.
Any way the wind blows.
And of course, I'm working at a band shot as well. The whole piece.
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty dope. I saw them last week, a couple of weeks ago, recently at the Regents.
Oh yeah. It's hard not to say opium, isn't it?
It's Regents now.
Yeah.
It's a general name, like you got Regent, you go.
Yeah.
You know, it's all that sort of thing now.
It's just the whole thing of like, I think their search results were getting like nerfed. Basically, because people searching opium Edinburgh just get a list of, plugs.
Is that not actually the actual place then? If it's opium, is it still comes up with the actual venue or something else pops up?
It still does, just with the amount of
Stuff that's happened there.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like gig videos and things
So
like that.
Yeah, I've got a bit on there as well.
Mhm.
On my other channel, so you'll see I've got a bit of you guys on it as well.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that you make the effort to
Yeah.
film stuff, because not only is it great to have to watch your performances back and see what you're doing right and see what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
It's also so good to have a channel like yours with just a massive local bands that you can just be like, hey, let's we're playing with these guys later. What are they like? Or we need a band for X. Let's just have a look and see who's played recently.
Exactly. That's what
You can't make the gig as well. There's a good few gigs where I've not been able to make, and I've been like, okay, I'm going to check them live. Someone will record them, because there's some gigs you just know someone's going to record.
Yeah,
Someone's going to do
that's
it.
so maybe these the other ones that do it as well. There's a couple of these YouTubers. Is that what's his name again? I don't know. I'm not good at these channels. Is that
I can't remember his actual name. I met him. His channel's the Fun Lip.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he does
all these videos as well.
He does a few things.
I could shout out to him that's the way he might be listening, and it's nice to give some shout outs out there.
Fuck yeah, Fun Lip. Keep doing your thing.
And also there's that other guy as well, does Demon something.
Death Chase, doing Death
Yeah.
Chase.
Yes!
We've also got,
He does the Doomsday report, doesn't he? Is that actually
Yeah.
him that does that?
Yeah, it's
On the video.
Esteban and the guy who records it is Ryan, I believe.
mm-hmm.
They do a lot from the Glasgow scene. There's also an Edinburgh TV where they interview some bands and stuff as well. I can't remember what it was called. They're based out of Bannerman.
Oh yeah. The name is also escaping me.
Yeah.
So they'll have the unique, everyone has, so someone has their unique sort of thing, then the unique channel for each venue or something.
Maybe not good for each venue, but I think that particular one, I know the Doomsday work a lot of Ivory Blacks, so I think some of them are bound to a bit more venues, but they do go out and about, but they kind of centralise for one or two.
Yeah, the Ivory Blacks is that's something that I've heard the name a few times. It's not one I've been to. I think you guys have probably played gigs no doubt, yeah.
You never been to Ivory Blacks?
No, never.
Who are you?
We've played there a few times. It's a pretty decent stage as well.
It's a
Like
good
the
place.
bell on that, something similar to what they do as
A
well.
bit smaller than Labelle, but
Quite a fancy spiced up venue or something.
No, not at all. It's more like it's like Glasgow's opium basically. I reckon.
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good analogy.
And it's all good for your metal bands, your local metal bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. But it's quite big, but it's not fancy in any way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's about as fancy as opium is.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I mean.
So, I mean, we love dive bars. Like,
So it suits us with it, right?
absolutely. I mean, for dive bars, you can't beat Krakatoa up in Aberdeen.
Is it really a dive bar anymore?
No, it's not.
Is it?
It's not.
I haven't been in a while, to be fair.
I love Krakatoa, but it's not what we grew up with.
Yeah.
Or back in my day, it was called Moorings.
Back in my day, it was moorings, and then back in your grandfather's and your grandfather's and your grandfather's day, it was also called the moorings. Now it's Krakatoa.
No, that's a bit much. It started in like the 60s.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm pretty sure you're wrong. We'll check up there.
Yes, fair enough. Google!
Just really short generations.
Yeah, that's what it's like in Aberdeen.
Everyone has like the life cycle of a mayfly.
The life expectancy is roughly on par with the seagull population.
The seagull population are overtaking the locals in life expectancy.
Well, they have a better diet. We're all from Aberdeen.
Yeah.
It's okay if we say it.
Yeah.
Well, you band, obviously you guys are in Edinburgh, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of it's one that we came from the north sort of thing, eh?
Yeah, it's Ben's the only one of us that's not from Aberdeen.
Or Shire, anyway.
Yeah, well, Aberdeenshire.
Yeah. And it's a cliche. All the people sort of flee Aberdeen, become expats in Edinburgh, flee the cultural black hole to somewhere where things actually happen.
Yeah.
And all we do when we get together is talk about how shit Aberdeen is and how much better Edinburgh is. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with Glasgow. Lots of Aberdonian refugees.
Yeah.
It was very specific though. I mean, there was like an understated event that didn't really get talked about, but there was a point where music really dipped in Aberdeen, and I think that's something a lot of time. I know what I built from it, and you yourself built. From
Yeah,
it.
I think that's about it.
Down, like it just started. No one was doing it. But since then, it's really revitalized. There's a lot more bands kicking out there now, which is awesome to see. But we bailed from Aberdeen for music. It was literally just to kind of chase after that music dragon.
Well, I mean, I suppose there always was music, but I mean, it's like, it was all the same stuff.
Dubstep took over. Live music was on the down. It was just dubstep and clubs everywhere. Even
a lot of them were getting shut down as well, to be honest.
yeah.
Stuff like Drummins used to do like, I don't know if they still do like rock and metal gigs, but then like they started doing acoustic stuff.
Really not so much.
Yeah.
Really not so much gigs in general, I think.
Is it quite obscure now Aberdeen there with the metal scene?
Don't know about now. Now it seems a little bit more active.
But they're still like, they've still got kind of a venue problem. Krakatoa don't really do much metal anymore. They do some, and they've always been the best venue. Really, all there is tunnels, and no one likes tunnel gigs. They're just, it's like,
They put Skindred in the tunnels when Skindred played out.
yeah, and it's like, that's how the mighty have fallen, you know.
That's just a shame. Like maybe they don't like them.
Anything to say?
The things we're not allowed to say. Don't tell me.
I won't, because there will be video evidence of it, and I don't want to pay any ransoms.
Yeah, guys. So what else did we say then? But about something about interest in that. What was an interest?
Always an interest. Oh, right.
About that now.
Well, I really like playing guitar.
Yeah, you're not very good at it though.
It's a hobby, not a profession.
What about video games and that then?
Yeah, no, I went for the Elden Ring and like
Oh, you got to do that.
really into Elden Ring, and I was like, I never finished Crash Bandicoot 4, so I put everything on hold to finish it. I'm getting all the collectibles and stuff on that.
No, you're one of these 100%ers, are you?
For Crash Bandicoot, yeah, it's got a special place in my heart, man. Like, yeah. Apart from that, it's I consume a lot of media as well. It's just I do a lot of video editing and stuff like that as well. So it's the sort of thing like I like having stuff running in the background. So I'm able to watch a lot more stuff than most people.
Wallpaper viewing. I was like that when I had my dissertation. I basically managed to watch all of Vikings and House. Sort of half watched the whole thing on a second monitor while I was attempting to write my dissertation.
I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched Star Trek, DS9, and Daredevil. Those are two of my biggest comfort shows.
I love DS9. It's the best Star Trek. Just is.
It's good. I mean, I love Next Generation. I think they're tied for me.
Yeah, to be honest, TNG's more of a proper sci-fi, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know, like everyone else is just going around apologizing for Kirk. Kirk did it first, he went around and just trashed everything. And then everyone else came afterwards, like, hey, yeah, so you heard you met Kirk? Yeah, sorry about him. So we're the real fleet.
We don't know how that guy got past security.
But in regards to games and stuff, I'm going to hop around between a few. I'm playing around a little bit with Generation Zero, which is like in the 80s versus robots. It's weird, it's like a zombie game, but it's robots and you're in the 80s. I can't describe it.
It's like cyberpunk or something.
Kind of, yeah, but you're going around with just synth music on bicycles.
Post-apocalyptic survival.
Yeah.
Most of what you play seems post-apocalyptic survival, but one form or another.
It's training, yeah. I'm dipping back into Crusader Kings 3 a little bit. Apart from that, I'm watching random obscure YouTube videos about games released in like the early 90s. Marathon, if anyone's interested. Check it out, the story's crazy.
like lost media stuff and that.
Yeah.
Stuff that you were getting.
Yeah, Marathon was Bungie Studios, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not a
Halo.
I'm not a Halo fan. I was a Sony console kid when it was brought, and now I have a PC, and I never looked back. But Halo's never really been much to me. But the Marathon story is intense. It's great. They put a lot of work into it. And it's kind of linked into Halo. If anyone's interested in Halo, the universe was supposed to be set in the Marathon universe. They're the same year it's supposed to be, so they're kind of like an off branch of each other.
That's pretty cool.
Very strange. If you're into your Halo, have a look at it.
Yeah, that sounds like you don't realise. And I play sim racing games. Myself, I play sim racing games.
Simulations, yeah.
You play Truck Simulator.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Truck Simulator on YouTube.
My wife also plays Truck Simulator.
Do you like a bit of that in trucking?
I don't.
I actually don't try Truck Simulator because, although I think I want a steering wheel. I think a game like that, you kind of want a steering wheel.
Yeah.
On Truck Simulator, there is a French radio metal station that's actually really good. I can't remember its name, but there's one radio station from France and they play awesome tracks.
Yeah. This Euro Truck Simulator guy's talking about this as well. Like, it's not the Euro Truck Simulator I play, it's this game called On the Road Truck Simulator, which is a bit more obscure. It's kind of similar to Euro Truck.
More hardcore.
Not hardcore, a bit casual.
More
It's a bit more keeping the truck in control because you can just crash it quite easily.
Yeah,
The steering's a bit off-putting a little bit uncontrollable.
Yeah, I know.
Sort of thing.
I know some people who like play those kind of games. It's very much a kind of just for brain off, relaxing kind of thing.
Yeah.
I find it very kind of just very nice to settle into that.
I'm literally just walking along on all these videos as well, doing that and on my channel on the trucking scene, on the trucking streams that do literally just walking on, chatting about the game and stuff updates, you know.
I played Elite Dangerous for a while, it's the same thing.
It's very strong.
Yeah, it's very strong. Very similar.
Yeah. You might enjoy Lawnmower Simulator.
Oh yes, I got that game. It's so dope. I'm going to spend time on that. It's quite common simulator about what one was, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you ever worried that you might be forming some kind of cliche here?
I don't know. I do find that quite relaxing as well. Like it keeps you immersing going. Like I find you're just so focused on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can just go around the summer and that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so cool. Like games like just evolving now. You can literally just play anything. You can do simulation games. Being one of my favourite, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Bannerlord is getting fully released this month. That means full mod support is coming this month. That's another one. Apart from that.
Released Bannerlord a couple of months ago.
Me and Magnus both played Magnus Blade for years.
Far too much.
So that's a big one for us.
I think Warband is my second most played game on Steam, down from Armor 3.
I'm probably about the same, but the Rome 2 or Rome 1. Rome 1 was when I stole Rome 1.
See, I'm taking the piss out of you for playing simulation games.
Yeah.
I play Armour 3, which is by no stretch of the imagination could you call it a game. You know,
It's a second job.
You could call it walking simulator.
Walking simulator.
Battlefield simulator.
Death simulator.
I think every developer has this reasonary simulation game, Train Sim World. You have to check Train Sim World 3 out, and it's quite insane. I actually just came out with it a couple of weeks ago, so I went to last week even. This came out literally not long ago. This, I think it's doing well. Like the city really put it out in to a lot of simulation train enthusiasts. You know,
I will have to.
You'll see it. You'll see it in the. I think you'll find it in any game store. It's a PS5 game as well, so it's even better.
I see. I was gonna say I'll have to make sure Sarah knows about that, my partner, because they love trains. They love trains.
I'm a train geek as well.
Yeah.
Trainhead. You know, I know my trains. I like a lot of the old vintage ones. You know, you go. There's a rail not too far from here, which has some quite old classic diesels. You know, you go to a place called Bowness and there's some old school trains. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know it's so hard to say what my favourite train is, but I like the old vintage diesels.
Yeah.
Class 47, I think that's my favourite. Class 47.
Is that one of like the big hauling ones?
It's one of the big diesels.
Yeah.
You can search them up. It's really easy to find them and search results. Say you don't even need to put like big captures in. You know, our train classes are just simply fine.
Yeah.
Oh, the class 91s are so good as well. There's two, you know the trains that run down to London King's Cross from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Well, the older ones that are replaced now with Zuma trains, which I'm not a fan of them. And I mean, people, I don't even know if any like them, but I know that this are more like Japanese built trains, but they look nice. So I think they look modern. I guess in some ways they're casual to those trains. They're pretty fancy and sweet and modern what they've replaced.
But traction engines.
Yeah, electric.
Slow. No, traction engines. They're like steam, like tractors.
Steam tractors are so cool.
They move with intent.
I used to work for like a mobile disco company up in Aberdeen. They did. There's a traction engine fair every year in Aberdeenshire. We'd set up the PA for that, and you could go there and it's like these fucking death machines trundling along. They're so cool.
Just a miniature model. It was just it used to be mad about them. They had a little miniature model, and you could put little fragments of whole match thing, and it'll start working.
Oh yeah.
I used to be fascinated with that as a kid.
Of course you were.
Yeah, I just like all that. I'm good.
I was doing tracking the other day and it was exactly the same thing. Like, you know, camera check, camera check, camera check, camera check.
It's like full cameras or something.
Yeah, we had 3 static cameras, and then Matt Norris was who was recording me was all about with a moving cam with a gimbal. It was really good fun. So yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be released at some point down the road. But we kind of got to get the album finished first.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be good, guys. So what about bus simulator? Do you hear the bus simulators? That's another going back in.
Oh no, I have not played the bus simulator. No.
Bus Simulator 21.
I'm not really a simulation geek. Well, I mean, Armour's a war simulator. That's a bit closing.
I'll play all simulation. I would like to play this time. I'm looking forward to Construction Simulator coming out.
That sounds like that would be kind of fun actually.
You'll find that.
It's like extreme Minecraft.
The way you're driving trucks and bulldozers and excavators.
Yeah, I like that. That's the kind of shit I can get behind.
Yeah, you get your JCBs and stuff and that.
For me though, like if I'm gaming, I want to be doing something more active, you know.
Like story and that, and actually using it in just like for FPS games, you know.
Yeah, I love. That's what's most important to me. A good narrative, and I quite like skill-based challenge as well.
So it keeps your momentum going.
That's it. Yeah, like the feeling you get when you've struggled in a hard section for days, you know, and then finally getting through it, it's the best catharsis. It took me a while to kind of get into that kind of style of gaming, but Elden Ring was a big push for that.
Yeah. Mastering mechanics in the game is a lot of fun. That's the most fun to me in a game. And generally, if I'm playing a game, it's either a game about where I'm mastering a strategy, or where I'm the mechanics of the game and I want to master them.
Yeah.
So like Doom Eternal was great for that.
Oh,
Star Citizen is good stuff.
Yeah, like the flying stuff.
Yeah,
Although
so-
again, tenuous calling it a game still. You know.
yeah, I really enjoyed Doom Eternal. The soundtrack as well. My fucking god, Mick Gordon is a king.
I've never played Doom before.
They're great. They're so good. I mean, if you like FPSs, you know. I mean,
That's an actually game, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I've heard it, so I've seen it everywhere pretty much at one point, didn't I?
they're very fun.
I would very much recommend you look up the soundtrack because it is very good.
Oh yeah.
It's a very, is it quite relaxing and chilled? Because you
It's-
exactly.
Yeah.
It's very metal, but not in your kind of standard video game way.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's
super heavy and shitty.
Actually, good metal.
Yeah.
Because usually video games, metal is very coy and cliche.
I don't know, originals Doom soundtrack, that MIDI fucking Metalhead. That fucking ruled at the time.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like yeah, there's just big heavy guitars, but a lot of electronic elements as well, which for me as well, when done right, those are just fantastic.
Yeah, it's right industrial, you could say.
And yeah, a lot of analog synths as well, and you know, he got the guitar tone apparently by mixing the regular tone with the original Doom 1 chainsaw noise.
Yeah, he did that on a couple of tracks, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
That's a rip and tear.
Yeah, he did a massive presentation on techniques he used to go through it. It was
It's a cool video to watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, getting back to the game thing, it's like, at the moment I'm, I do like the first person shooters, good mechanical ones. At the moment I'm rinsing a demo called Trepang 2. There is no Trepang 1, I don't know why it's called Trepang 2. But it's a spiritual successor to Fear, which is one of my favourite games of all time.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, all you get in demo is really a wave mode where enemies come at you, but you're power sliding around the place, you're going slow-mo, you're going invisible, you're taking people hostage in one hand, shooting people. And there's all these mechanics that you have to basically master and use to get you out of situations and stuff like that. And you just feel like such a badass player. It's wonderful. I love it.
And it's just it's like loads of challenges and stuff like that. So
Sorry?
lots of challenges and stuff to do as well.
Yeah, it's just really, it's still just a demo. All there is the only challenge is really
It's all early access and that.
survive the wave modes, but you can put the skill level up. I'm currently playing it on very hard, and I get through it maybe 1 in every 10 attempts. And so it's as hard as you want it to be.
You're quite good, so you really get a screen there with the game, and then you can just go in the hands. I don't think I would advanced hands or normal.
It depends on the game. If it's a game that I'm absolutely rinsing, I will go back and play again on harder skill levels just to get more of a challenge out of it, because it's I did that with the new Doom games. I did it with I'm doing it with this game.
Did Cyberpunk, which was
Well, we went straight to hard skill the second we figured out you got more loot. I seem to recall.
let's crank it up.
Yeah, standard.
Cyberpunk, one thing they'll see. Cyberpunk's this one. The Cyberpunk's pretty much not very talked about now. The game is.
I really actually did like it when it came out.
Did you with all the bugs and that?
Yeah, I mean it was buggy as fuck, and it was.
Much bugs. I was lucky. Everyone was getting bugs, but my PC was running fine with it, so I was very lucky. But it was quite stubborn here and there.
It's the fact that
My computer couldn't run it very well, so
Console players got fucked.
Yeah.
Fucked.
PS4, I think. PS4.
the last gen consoles really couldn't run it.
Yeah, shouldn't
That
have
was
tried
the
to do
point,
it
wasn't it? It was the last gen
What
game.
were they thinking? You're not going to get that thing to run on an Atari. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's this thing as well that these days you can just get away with releasing an unfinished game. They just patch the
They
fuck
were
out of
supposed
it.
to be the chosen ones.
Yeah, they were
that was
supposed-
all really disappointing.
They were also CD Projekt Red were promising, no crunch, absolutely no crunch, no abusive overtime. Broke that fucking promise, didn't they?
That is the thing.
Indeed.
Unless they get standards in the industry, they're always going to have crunch. Because
When they get it back to full way,
Because that is the standard,
yeah, every company you go to is going going to be crunch thing. So until the industry gets a standard put over it, crunch is never going to go away.
Yeah.
Even the good guys are still going to crunch.
And this is the thing. It's a big part of it is because video games, unlike other software, like it used to be the case that 80% of all software and engineering projects died. I'm a software engineer, by the way. I know some of this. It used to be that something like 80% of all software engineering projects, all programming projects, just failed. And that was standard. And your sort of professional industry, not including gaming, is getting a lot better at that now. They've got better ways of managing projects in a way that will deliver something that works on time and to spec and all this kind of stuff. They're getting a lot better at it. The thing with video games, though, to my mind, is that they're not clearly defined projects that have to do specific things. They're a bit more like works of art.
Yeah.
That it's like, we could have this in it, we could, like, everything's a could. Normally when you're a bigger project, it's like, it must haves, should haves, could haves. In a video game, almost everything's a could, so it's almost impossible to scope out the project. Like, especially if it's a big grand project, something like Cyberpunk. So predicting how long that's going to take, how many man hours it's going to take, is nigh on impossible.
Exactly.
And this is why there's this culture of crunch. It's like we just want to get as much as we can get in as possible to try and get this scope that we.
But you're much better delaying it and not working your employees to death.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is as well, the industry preys on passion. It's the same thing. Music is absolutely the same thing. Like, it's people that are managing creatives and not understanding the process that goes into being a creative.
Kids, do you apply for exposure? It's exactly the same thing. Here, guys, what is fancy computer game drugs? We're doing some crunch still.
Yeah.
Some crunch.
Oh,
at least they get paid for it.
This is true. You do get paid for it.
I mean, you do get paid for your overtime, but
you do get paid for working yourself into an anxiety-riddled mess.
Yes, exactly. I mean, fundamentally, work-life balance is important.
Capitalism,
regardless of what
baby.
The went through everyone just wants this game to be out now than later.
They got fucking death threats when they delayed it the first time.
It's the social media aspects of things these days. When they put a post that everyone's just bombarding them with this and that, you know.
Well, I think knowing that it was CG Projekt Red, I think most of the fans actually were very understanding. It was more likely that the pressure was coming from the publishers.
It was a similar thing.
You don't think so?
It was a similar thing in Witcher. So when Witcher got first delayed, all the fans thanked CG Projekt Red for it. They'd done the same thing with Cyberpunk, but by the time they'd done that with Cyberpunk, they had got a lot more attention than the Witcher crowd. They got a much larger fan base. They got a lot of the FPS shooter kids, Call of Duty kids. So the second time when they said we're going to delay it, a lot of the fan base were understanding. But you also had this other wide market of the fan base that just went mental.
Absolutely.
They're excited for death threats because they're used to them God.
Yeah, and they're used to like a game every year, you know. It's just no, stop it. Sit the fuck down.
Let it be a long, good, in-depth game. It's going to take a while. Like even Bannerlord, I was kind of annoyed that Bannerlord got released early access because I played it and stuff and it was good.
There wasn't really anything there.
It was like, well. Yeah, I think they more done it because they're a small company and they needed to try and get more funding.
So funding and feedback can be good for alpha builds and early releases and stuff.
When it comes to Mount & Blade, they got a free pass from me. Any company that are as open and encouraging of modding as see the guys that say XCOM, the guys that Mount & Blade, they're so forward and open to having modding and getting full modding support. They got a bit of a free pass from me in that regard. They got to slide a little bit.
For more anti-capitalist propaganda, follow James Stephanie Sterling at the position.
But as a game, I actually really enjoyed Cyberpunk, despite the faults. It was kind of a game. I felt like it was made for me. It really is my kind of game.
Keanu Reeves reached the monitor and slowly jerked you off.
Oh man, it was wonderful.
That's how the Master's bit of the course is Keanu Reeves was probably the elephant in the room pretty much.
His character in it was great. It was a very un-Keanu Reeves character.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves always plays sort of everyman good guys or
Blanks. The character who plays blanks.
Yeah, he plays blanks.
He's audience insert.
Yeah, he's the audience insert.
Whereas it wasn't an audience.
I mean, Ted isn't an audience insert, but again, that's very different. Like, he can play goofy characters.
Ted wasn't an audience insert.
Yeah. I mean, okay, some of the audience maybe.
Yo!
Okay, fair enough.
I was like, Battle of the Bands, let's do this. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I relate.
Are you kidding me?
I relate to
So
being.
great.
Genghis Khan?
I relate to being a cute idiot.
Yeah, fair enough. But like fundamentally, in Cyberpunk, he's like this. He's like nothing else. He's in anything else. He's such this passionate, aggressive, resentful, like mega rock star type dude.
Yeah.
Like, in such a way that he's not really a humble character.
Yeah.
He's always playing a humble character or someone that appears that way, and he's just nothing like that in Cyberpunk. It was really cool.
You got some opportunities as well because you're playing as like the insert character. The audience
Yeah,
insert.
yeah.
He's playing as the insert's mentor character, which you get a lot. Let's see, even in what Call of Duty, you got the sergeant, Final Fantasy. You've always got a mentor character, and he kind of gets to fill that role, and he does it in this kind of distorted, kind of fucked up way where he doesn't really like you. I could dig that.
But yeah, basically, I'm not going to play Cyberpunk again. When I completed it the first time, I was like, right, it's running like crap on my computer. I'm going to wait until graphics cards are affordable again, and then I'm going to play it again when I get a new graphics card.
They've got a massive update for it as well, apparently.
Yeah, I think they just did.
They've come out with a recent one, but apparently that was kind of superficial. But they're going to like a lot more actual content. Which makes sense because I think the guy the team that made it were quite annoyed that it pushed out as early as it did. By the looks of it, I think they were more used to more finished products. By the sounds of it, the guy took it a little bit personally, and now he's all like, "No, I want to keep working on it. It's not done yet. It's not done yet." And I can appreciate that. So
Witcher 4 can fuck off.
Of all the shit they've done, at least I can appreciate that they can acknowledge that the product of the game wasn't in their eyes a finished product, and they were trying to get closer to that, which is cool.
I need to try and then, it's also been more than a year now since the game came out, like 3 years literally. And
It still pushes consoles, it still pushes systems though. It's the only game that I've got really that makes my system kind of lag a little bit.
Is it still like that, still stuttering?
Not because of optimization though, it's because it's the only game I know that you can really crank the graphics up to that extent with that much busy work going on the screen.
It is optimization as well, though. I mean, that's one of the things about it. It is a truly optimized game. Although I would imagine it might find it's even better these days, given that they'll almost certainly have patched that a bit.
Yeah, what's one of your better games for benchmark? Because as you say yourself, back in the day.
No, it's not a good benchmark.
Back in the day, it was Fear. Was like your sort of benchmark, wasn't it?
No. Crisis.
Yeah, Crisis. That was the
well-run Crisis. That's the classic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
These days, Doom Eternal's a really good benchmark because it's unbelievably well optimized. It will run at 60 FPS. You don't need to set your graphics settings. It'll go right. How fast? What is the frame rate currently? Is that at least 60 FPS? No. Lower graphics settings until we get it to 60 FPS, and then we keep it there. It just automatically does it all for you, and it will crank itself up if you've got a more powerful system, just based on what your FPS is. It's so well optimized.
I find optimization is something that people skim out on these days a lot, especially when it comes to size management. Like, games are ridiculously bloated.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare is a joke. Like gigabytes and gigabytes, like hundreds of gigabytes for a game that's. It must just be the movies in it, you know? I mean, what else is taking up that space? It's ridiculous.
For Doom, it was like all really high quality lossless music files that made up the bulk of the size. It's still like 50 gigabytes or something like that, maybe a bit more.
It's all a third of the size of code.
That's it, yeah. Like, Gears of War 5 was like that as well. It just kept having updates upon updates upon updates, and it's like...
Even basic games like FIFA, like they're not exactly small, but there's not a lot to them. Really.
They're like you understand they're like ones that released every year, people and that, you know. So they're probably even doing pretty much during the years at least on like, you know, like WWE 2K, this is actually a game every year. They don't even go out by doing it like they're playing the exact same game every year.
They know they're going to get sales out of it. They just slap it on, there we go. Right,
Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss. Do you want to get this game, or do you want to just you want to get this game, or you just want to leave it until they actually get a new engine or something, you know? Because that's what they need to do. They need to try and
Well, yeah, exactly. If you've got a new engine, then that's an excuse to bring out a new game, you know? It's like the same game.
Unity engine and Unreal engine or something, those, that's Unreal engine, Unreal 5 is very dope, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some real shit coming
The
up.
stuff you can do with that is just.
Hopefully PS5 can run that.
They'll run it. All these new engines are always...
Because the PS5 is very piece itself now this time of the year. At this time of the year now, it's nearly 2 years since that came out, literally. So to be honest, she'd find out by this time of the year, PS5 should have Unreal 5 on the console, so that's the thing now. So.
Yeah, definitely. And then like Unreal 5 will actually be able to take advantage of some of the cooler technologies in the PS5. Like PS5 has got that cool kind of thing where it can load graphics directly from the hard drive rather than like having to load it in the memory first. It's like it's a fairly new technology, and modern computer processors are starting to do that. Like AMD systems can do that now. But you have to actually write the games and the engines to be able to take advantage of it, and Unreal 5 definitely does that.
Exactly. I found it should be pretty good. The Matrix demo as well, meant to say that was like one of the first demos to get released on PS5 on Unreal 5, isn't it? And that was what I was saying, like me and my pal actually played that, me and my pal actually were playing that together. And it's
The Matrix still is it?
Yeah, the demo, the Matrix, they released the demo and it's really all the AI and all the ray tracing and shit, all that.
Yeah, it looked stunning. It didn't look like there was a whole lot to do gameplay wise.
So essentially just free roam,
Right.
this continent and this world where you can drive vehicles and stuff. It's kind of like Lost Dogs Legion and that, all these they dropped in that. Lost Dogs is quite a good game.
I never actually played it. It did look cool though. I like the whole like hacking into things, cyberpunky thing. That's my kind of game.
It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
It's Ubisoft, isn't it?
Ubisoft.
I don't buy games from Ubisoft.
You don't fuck with Ubisoft.
I don't fuck with Ubisoft because they protect sex pests.
Well, they do Assassins as well. Assassin's Creed.
I mean,
Assassin's Creed, like, oh my god.
you remember the first two games? I mean, the first and third games?
I loved the first game. And the Italy base was fine. Black Flag was okay if you're a Black Sails fan. The cameos. But you see, I got the one in ancient Greece because I'm a massive ancient history fan. So I just run around and have a look at all the stuff. Because they're pretty good at getting historical kind of representations from history. But it's so bloated with shit. It's just hundreds of pointless missions.
That's quite repetitive, isn't it? The same with Watch Dogs as well. You have to, Watch Dogs Legion, you're pretty much doing the same sort of thing. You're creating a character, you're hacking into someone's optic or something, you call it, and that type of year, 2030 or something, one set in 2030, so obviously drones and stuff flying around. So it looks cool in my opinion. I do like the Watch Dogs, they've done all the graphics, and the PS5 version was pretty dope in my opinion. Yeah, so much you can do, so much you can do in these games and run out of things to do.
I actually went back and played Assassin's Creed 2 again pretty recently. I fucking loved that game. So good. I should go and do the other two actually, like Brotherhood and what was it, Revelation and that.
In 2.5 and 2.75.
Yeah. Because I remember that being good as well. Well, Revelation was just more on Brotherhood. But Brotherhood was good.
Yeah, I was playing those games when I was less critical of games. And like even Revelations, like I'm halfway through, I was like, I've literally forgotten what Ezio's beef is. I have no idea why I'm here doing these things.
You're all on go with it, it's cool.
We barely talked about
The music.
This becomes the video game podcast.
The video game podcast. We should just continue a video game podcast. New games.
Nobody gives a fuck about music,
It's quite true. It's all about or like trucking music now. What was that?
Trucking music.
The trucking games update don't have any updates, and they're kind of worth as they are as well. So not talking about Cyberpunk, the trucking games that play truck driving on the road, they're literally just worth these games to the way they are with bugs and that. You can't actually, some of those video that I did on the other channel, you couldn't move the truck because it was some bug. It overloaded. I don't even know what that was.
Sunk like half into the floor or something.
It was actually non-drivable, so you couldn't drive it. Right? The truck's still there. It's still on the road. It's in a wee yard, and then you can totally drive it. But there was some sort of thing that was locking in the steering, so you couldn't turn it. You couldn't drive any gear. But that was something. I still left that to it as it's so a shame for the weak games, and then you'll find about. You play the game, and there was the patch it, and then the wee stuff that's left there to it.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It was like abandon that, we're working on the next thing, rather than at least leaving a team to keep it running.
Exactly. Let's get into the music questions after all this time until now we get back into the music. So also you played, also you guys, I've seen you guys a plenty of times actually, gigs. Probably pretty much almost every gig I go to, and it's on the bill sometimes. I try to get to them as much as I can.
We really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. What genres that you guys play then?
Genre.
It's very weird genre.
Yeah, well, I mean, was it you that came up with the term multicore?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wanting to push the term multicore as far as possible. But yeah, like what we do is based in like progressive death metal, melodic metal, tech metal kind of stuff.
And metal fusion, I like to call it.
Yeah, and then it just spreads out in an amorphous blob and covers other genres as well.
Yeah, we're just taking things. I mean, it's not like we'll just take elements from things that aren't really metal, but it's not like someone like 12 Foot Ninja. They'll just suddenly they'll be playing a metal riff, and then they'll suddenly be playing funk.
Yeah.
And then they'll suddenly be playing like jazz or whatever. They'll actually do a jarring shift into another genre.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think what we do is we kind of, everything is metal, we just grab the other genres and just stuff it into metal at that point, if you see what I mean.
I think, it's hard to make a cohesive sound when you're absorbing stuff from all these different things.
Yeah.
But I think we've done pretty well. I think a big part of that is Sin's vocals, actually. It really ties everything together. It really gives it that kind of Nassau character, I think.
Yeah, it's so heavy in mind as well. It's heavy, it's really heavy as well. Compared to other genres, it's unique as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Live is definitely where it's at for us, I think. That kind of dominates our band persona.
We just love playing.
That's more to do with the fact that we seem to be incapable of releasing any music.
Or refusing any gigs.
The songs are quite long, so you've got a couple of long songs, and it has these wee breakdowns, and then they build up again, don't they?
Yeah, definitely playing with the dynamics.
We don't really get much out of releasing stuff. I mean, you could say, we get people to listen to us, but we're not really in it to chase fame or that stuff. So releasing an album for us is
speak for yourself.
But releasing an album is kind of whereas when we're playing live, we're actually physically getting something out of it. So I feel like the recorded music's for people who don't want to go and see us live, and we don't really get much out of it.
You don't get much out of it. I'm building the Clark and Community brand over here.
I mean, we don't think any of us expect to release something and then to get super big.
Yeah, no,
that's. I don't think any of us are expecting that in the slightest. So for us, it's like when you record an album, it's
it's almost like a chore. It's like, we're gonna have to record an album, or no one will take it seriously. We won't get any gigs. It's almost like it's
on sufferance.
Yeah, it's on sufferance. That's exactly the word I'm looking for.
No one enjoys tracking. I don't think.
No,
I know
there's some freaks.
I know some people. Who are
some absolute masochists.
They're much more comfortable in the studio than in front of people. They'll do.
Yeah, to be honest, that's a big thing.
But for me, I developed my skills for playing live, so it's this tracking. When I started doing it, it was just such a different set of skills that it was very strange for me. And the drums are now recorded over 2 years ago, which is the drums usually get done first, but COVID was a massive barrier to getting vocals recorded. And guitar and stuff like that. I'm getting bass now, but.
And after COVID came back, we're like, we're going to record again. And it was like, we can also gig again. We're like, let's do that. Let's do gigs instead.
Yeah.
But no, it's in regards to the recording's come along fine, I think. there's been all the hiccups. We've got race car excuses for days, so we're fine in that regard. But,
What do you classify as a race car excuse?
for Nick, it's like, oh, well, my car's steering was a little bit stiff.
Racing driver.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's just happened.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, COVID, and I have university that day. Oh, I can't do recording today because I was like really tired.
Yeah.
Race car excuses.
I need a lem sip. I don't have a lem sip. We're not recording today.
In fairness, I just go in raw dog. I don't need no lamb sips or honey. Sometimes I need a beer.
Yeah, so you're, hey, you come around to record. You want to come running? Would you like to come recording? No. Are you going to anyway? Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Vocals is a very difficult thing to track, I think, as well.
Yeah.
It's
it's more than other instruments. It's very on the day dependent. It's like
100%.
what is your environment at the time? What do you feel like? You know?
You can feel good, you go in and it can sound shit.
Yeah.
And you can feel bad, you go a bit, actually this is going through okay, fair enough. So that's why it's like, well, no matter how you feel, just go around.
It's worth pushing yourself. Yeah. But also there's a chance, there's a thing going too far. Like, there's a balance to be held for that, because I definitely used to push myself beyond the point of sensibility.
You just put yourself out and you want to have to recharge again, don't you?
Yeah. Well, when we did the drum recording, we were like, so it was 3 days of that, like 5 or 6 hour sessions each day, and then straight into an ILO recording for In Stasis the next day. After that, I just didn't want to look at a drum kit for like a week. I was like, nope, packed all my stuff up, put it in my room, and I'm like, I'm not looking at this shit. But that never lasts long for me.
The time goes fast and then you're just back on it again.
Absolutely, back on my bullshit constantly.
Back in the ring. Back in the rhythm, drum kit,
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, we did. That's actually something else that's really kind of helped our cohesiveness, and certainly my playing as well. Is we've actually got a room now where I can leave my drum kit, and not having to spend half an hour setting up every single time I go play drums with a band.
We're just it's a nightmare, isn't it?
So it's great now because I just show up and sit and take the piss out of everyone because they have to set up.
I've got not one, not two, but 3 cables to put in.
Oh, 3 cables.
3 cables. I've got carrying the mic as well.
You're never going to outdo the vocalist in terms of lack of equipment setting up self-pity.
No, that's fair. Sin also.
This microphone's so heavy.
Sin also always helps me carry stuff, though, which I appreciate.
Yeah, there's a stigma around vocalists not helping.
A bit, yeah.
Gee, you're wonderful.
I got away with it for years.
Hey, Sid, could you carry this? I'm homeless.
Yeah,
Can't do it. Not today. Stars.
Or just take the other approach, like, what, you want me to wash your car windows too? Fuck off.
Just the guitar would be easier, a bit of an easier part to transport because you just put it in your back,
Until you're getting the amp as well.
Yeah, I'm going around with an amp with a 2x12.
Yeah.
And there's a band with his 2 guitars.
I haven't done that for a while now.
No.
Because
Why actually? Why isn't
The
it?
five-
The 5 string's a bit bust at the moment.
so they've just learned everything on the 6th string.
Yeah.
Which is,
Which, I mean, that's what I would have done.
That's probably what
But I tend to just suffer through awkwardness just so that I can carry less gear.
Yeah, that's
I'm that guy.
It's, I mean, as well, the, difference in scale length and stuff with the bass can be a bit,
They'll have the same scale length, I think.
Yeah, you reckon? I thought
With the strings.
I thought with an extra string it would be a little bit longer, but
It might, possibly. I mean, no, because the extra string on a 6-string bass is a high one, so
Yes.
it wouldn't be.
Okay.
keep forgetting about that.
I mean, it might be, but I mean, that won't be the reason.
So much to forget, these days. I like myself, I think I forget sometimes what daily big happening, all that. But you guys played at Bloodstock Festival Metal to the Masses, didn't you? How was that event? That was a big experience for you guys to get up there.
It was amazing.
I got very, very hungover for several days.
I haven't beaten up in the pit so much. Like it was just going from pit to pit to pit to pit.
You got some MOSFETs on the go down there.
Like the leg was mashed up. It was covered in bruises. It was very sore, very tiring, but very good.
Bloodstock is amazing when you go to.
Yeah,
I hate not doing this. Like I was looking at all the pictures and just pining away.
Yeah.
Like a lovesick fucking.
Yeah, you see all the photos of people in the car. Off the bloodstock. Fuck you.
Honestly, I'm so glad I wasn't there this year because I would have fucking died.
I would have died
so
too,
warm,
but
very hot.
it would have been fine for like.
No, not for me.
I used to be shit for heat, but I'm way better at it now.
And they're making like charcoal materials.
I wasn't that way and I got a bit of it recently, so you know. So.
Yeah.
I'm just not made for anything above 20 degrees C. I just melt.
I don't like the heat myself. I had to get in the shade when I was in that way. That happens. That was fantastic.
It's called being a Nord. Plus 2 frost resistance.
Yeah, same. I came across
Minus 30 to 50 heat resistance.
it was like 30 degrees, I think, one of the days there, which it was hot.
Temperatures over in the UK were insane. I think we
Somewhere
take 35 or something like that.
On the it was 40 in London one day.
So to put this in perspective,
Oh, that way.
to put this in perspective, the Sahara Desert's average mean temperature is around 30 degrees Celsius. That's the Sahara Desert. It's a desert we all grew up about hearing about the Sahara. Death Valley has got nothing growing in it, and it hovers around about 40 degrees. Like for a few years ago, we were cracking sort of similar temperatures to Miami and Ibiza and all that. And I was like, oh shit, but now we're cracking similar temperatures to Sahara Desert and Death Valley. That's scary stuff.
Well, if you're taking the average of the like Sahara Desert and stuff like that, it gets very cold at night.
Yeah, well, the Death Valley though is still too hot for anything to grow.
Yeah.
That's the place where it's just no fauna, no
Too dry as well.
Yeah.
In a desert.
no flora. Right? There's
The,
just no fauna, and there's no chance.
Yeah, I went to the gym on the hottest day that we had in Edinburgh, which was like plus 30 degrees, and there's no air conditioning in the gym I go to. It was like a sauna in there. It was so sweaty and humid in there that my fingers wrinkled up like I'd been in a bath too long. it was like nothing like this. It was like, this can't be healthy.
I remember you saying that. I was like, what are you doing then? You just go stand in the room and sweat.
Yes!
Okay, that was good.
Basically.
Yeah. You probably lost your fucking, half your body weight in water.
There we go. Yeah. Got water retention? Well, we've got the solution, right?
Okay, enough we had aircon and place in that way. It took a wee bit to kick in, but it did feel like.
This is the thing though, places that are used to the heat have aircon everywhere.
Yeah.
We don't, we're not used to it.
Not just aircon, but
Well,
buildings are in hot places are built differently.
Yeah.
Scotland,
We retain heat, yeah.
Yeah, for Scotland and in UK, it's like, okay, we know winters are cold, let's pack these walls, make sure heat doesn't get out. Whereas in like Greece and stuff, it's very open flow, it disperses air very well.
Yeah.
So they're not well suited for the heat sort of heats we're going to be getting, but I think they're a bit better, more suitable to deal with it than we have been.
Like, so this story, like, when I was when we were at uni, we were pals with a bunch of like people from the Arabic part of the world, like UAE and stuff like that, and like one of them once said to me, "It's way too fucking hot in this country," and it's like, what? You're from a desert country. How the fuck are you too hot? And it's like, no, you don't understand. I go from an air-conditioned house to an air-conditioned car to an air-conditioned office. I never go outside. Like, I'm inside in Scotland and it's too hot.
There's a similar thing during the heat wave. There was some random guy online who was basically from Austin, Texas, in Austria, and he was basically, this is terrible. They're not suitable for it. I come from a terribly hot place. And this is the worst I've ever been in my entire life for heat, because it's basically the same sort of thing. Nothing was air conditioned, there was no water fountain, no public thing. I went over to Tennessee for a few months, and it was the hottest summer they had there in 90 years. I saw it bubbling tarmac at one point. But the way they kind of work, they had like vending machines out on the street, which you couldn't really do over here because they just get trashed. But you walk from shadow to vending machine to shadow to vending machine. That's you were literally plotting your route by that. And if there was no vending machines that direction, you weren't going that way. So we're not going that way. I don't care what you gotta get something down there. There's no vending machines because you were literally sweating out a bottle of water worth of fluid, then you had to replace it with another bottle. Otherwise, you're just going to downscale. You go home like just salt.
I'll be surprised if the vending machines actually are cold if it's in a hot country.
They were cold, thankfully. They were blasted.
We always think it would have kept it cold if it was in the same heat, you know.
Some holy relics.
You know, it's insane all that anyway, all temperatures and all that. It's getting to that stage now, it's getting really hot.
Yeah, we just don't have the infrastructure for it.
It's not have it now with the trains, all the railways would now have like that as well.
Even in China dried up 66 rivers.
Yeah, they're gonna have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
We're going to get a knock-off from that as well because it's drying up supply lines. We saw what the sort of damage was done in that one channel in the Nile being blocked up. Sure, that's a bit more of a busy route, and it was just a single ship, but drying up multiple supply routes from China, which is one of the world's largest distributors. So there's going to be a knock-on effect or two from that.
Mainly food-wise, that whole part of the world, and most of China's food feeds China, but it's like it also means that they're going to need food from elsewhere.
They're going to have to import. Yeah.
So it's like there's going to be a lot less food this sort of coming year, I reckon, than there has been in previous ones. I mean, we add that to these little problems in Ukraine and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Although thankfully grain seems to be getting out there now.
Yeah, they've been pushing the front back, haven't they?
Fuck yeah.
Like, it's been nice to see. Like, the soldiers, like, you know, like liberating towns and like everyone in them being, you know, so grateful for it.
Like the 3 people left, basically.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ukraine gig at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It was very worthy cause. It's spread out over 2 bars, the Bannermans and Banshees, which will be a bit weird. So it's pretty much taking over that street for the day.
Big up Alina from McStort's organising it. It's a Ukrainian benefit gig, and basically she's got in touch with a whole bunch of charities that work, like smaller charities in eastern Ukraine that just work basically feeding people and medicine and stuff like that. All kind of stuff. So it's all, she's verified it all and whatnot. So yeah, come on down.
27th of November.
There'll be fire dancers and raffles.
Yeah.
And we were not the fire dancers.
Sadly.
You're safe. Come down.
I don't know what like Machine Head were playing recently, weren't they, in Edinburgh?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You had to turn down a ticket for practice.
Yeah.
What was yours?
I could have got it if it was sold out, you know.
It's really good that they do like the small venue Scotland tour, like as a warm up for their other ones.
They don't think about the bigger one. Every band decides to play the big venues and Machine Head come along and just be.
Machine Head seem to really like to play.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Skindred.
And I mean, like I'm not much of a fan of Machine Head. Like I used to like when I was younger. You know how you go back and listen to the bands when you were younger, and it's like actually this is still a straight banger. Didn't happen with Machine Head, I'm sorry. but
I still love some songs off the Blackened. Like that's an iconic album for me.
But like I mean, it's not like British sounding guys. You know?
They're not bad as a band, by any means. They're so good. It's just not.
One man's opinion.
I listen to them one as well, and I think that's got.
Yeah, Winston was like.
There's some Iron Maiden songs to this day that like, see, Run to the Hills comes on, it's like, fuck off, I'm done with that song. I've listened to it about 1 million times in my life. Before I was 6, I listened to that song over 1,000 times. I don't need to listen to that anymore. So there's some songs, but it's still a good song. Yeah. It's just, I don't want it anywhere near me. I've heard it way too much.
Yeah, that's it, don't you? When you start mapping, I still like hearing it now and again, but you hear it too much, didn't you? It's kind of one of the big metal songs, right? It gets played a bit more compared to what other
you play anything enough, you're going to get bored of it.
Yeah.
There's certain albums like Queen, Pink Floyd's The Wall was another one, and a few Iron Maiden albums. I listened to a few of those to death when I was between the ages of 6 and 8, I think.
Yeah,
way too much. And back then as a tour kid, we just take cassettes, you got nothing else. You go on YouTube, just like, okay, got these 3 tapes, I'm going to listen to them about 8,000 times. Just do this.
What about In Flames and that as well? In Flames are playing Edinburgh, that's another band that's well, they played Edinburgh with a Shia, but I saw them, they were so cool.
In Flames are one of my all-time favourite bands. They're probably one of my biggest vocal influences.
Did he actually go to that gig in like a room there with a Shia? Did you know about that?
I didn't. I couldn't get through for it. It was just depressing. I sent them messages. I was like, "Yo, guys, are you looking for local support?"
They had so much support, didn't they?
Did they? I don't know.
It wasn't called again. I'm so bad. Those two British bands are kind of genty stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the bigger bands will generally grab bands and take them on tour with them. A lot less are just sort of looking for local supports. Will be us, but In Flames, classic In Flames is some of the best metal out there in my opinion. I love some of the classic stuff, and their new stuff is starting to sound a lot more like their old stuff. Not that their new stuff's bad; they're still a good band. It doesn't have that same spice that the original.
Just doesn't grab you the same way.
Yeah, they went from being like in my head a legendary band to being a damn good band, and that's not bad. They're still a damn good band, and I'm very judgmental when it comes to bands. So,
but it's still getting the momentum going. I'm not sure what they'll be like when they get to the Judas Priest times.
Yeah,
what's going to be what do you think if they'll still be going?
Judas Priest, their performance at Bloodstock was fucking killer.
Oh yeah.
Rob put a lot into his performance.
Yeah, man. Like you could see how much he was struggling with it, but he fucking heroically pulled it out. Like, what a fucking man.
What was the favorite band at Bloodstock in that time you were playing? Did you actually see some great bands that time?
Oh, we did.
For me, it was Debbie, Devin Townsend, because I've never seen him before live, and me and Josh, the other guitarist in the band, were sort of standing there waiting for him to come on, and it was like, so what are you hoping he's going to play? And it's like, I don't know, maybe some hyperdrive, maybe some bits and pieces and whatnot. And he asked, well, what do you want him to play? I'd like him to play like Love by Strapping Young Lad, ha ha ha, I know he's not going to do it. He only went and fucking did it. I was like, he's playing this for me?
That's it, because he's long talked about how, like, for him, the Strapping Young Lad stuff is a bit strange because
he kind of did, didn't he, that time?
Yeah, it was just the sort of thing, it was a very different emotional place to where he is now. But so many people wanted it, and I really appreciate him pushing to make it happen.
That's why it felt so special. It's like I know how much he doesn't want to play that stuff and how difficult it is for him. So the fact that he did it was just like it just makes me feel so grateful. It's like, you know,
he's the kind of guy that would walk.
Special moment.
He's the kind of guy that would walk through fire for his fans. I remember when we were younger, I think it was the first time I saw Devin, and me and a few of the friends waited after the gig to see if we could catch some folk, and he made sure to come out and say hi even though he was horribly ill. It was the sweetest thing.
They've been playing in Bloodstock. You had to make an entire UK-based band.
Yeah, because of the COVID regulations, now what you started doing is you got a guitarist and bassist. Was there another guitarist as well?
No,
it was just the two.
Guitarist, bassist, and drummer.
Yeah, and yeah, just from the UK and smashed out with them, practicing for the first time together, a few days before it, because he had to come in 2 weeks early to quarantine as well. So
it's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Skindred were also fantastic, but
they were a lot of fun.
They always put on such a great show. Benji Webb is just a master at manipulating the crowd. He's got everyone in the palm of his hand the whole time.
They're very heavy. They must get more specs on the go as well. It's one of those bands that sound heavy. Kill Power, I think, is the song that very.
Yeah, a lot of dancing as well though, because they've got a lot of more groove-based beats, which I really enjoy. I got to take part in the Newport helicopter, just where everyone takes their shirts off and fucking around the head.
It was horrible. It was horrible. I did not take part in that thing. It was dreadful. We standing there, what is everyone doing? What the fuck is this? And then he just got sprayed with sweat in every direction. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing to me? Horrible. Take part in that nonsense.
I fucking loved it. It was great.
Some people just don't like fun.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how many people's sweat I got in my mouth. So.
Character building. Other highlights were, of course, Ramaging and Dog Tired.
Yeah.
Our fucking boys.
Yeah.
They always smash it, but it's just so. It's so satisfying to see people.
Yeah, to see him on the big stage and like commanding a crowd like that and and
just seeing everyone on the Sophie stage absolutely loving that shit. Just it's so gratifying.
Ramage
They actually get a mic up there, you know.
We want to come on the podcast as well. Shout out to Ramage and Cam. They should definitely come on here as well.
Lovely guys, absolutely lovely guys.
So we played around with it like really early on.
It was one of our first gigs.
It was our first gig with Triple G, and so we played a lot of kind of lower end gigs before, but it was more like sort of open mic nights kind of stuff. Because we were just looking to play live. We didn't really have a full lineup, but I think it was one of our earlier gigs. We played the Ramajink and
Deadly Circus Fire.
Yeah, that was a good one, yeah.
But all the people in the local scene, all the bands we kind of come across, we generally want to see them do well. It's not the same in all places, but I think we kind of benefit from it in the Scottish scene. A lot of people do just genuinely want to see other bands do well. It's never like you see a band do well and like, oh, it should be us. It's like, yeah, fucking go for it.
Apart from Hateball, they can get fucked.
Hateball is the exception.
Fuck those guys.
These are, of course, jokes. But
What? You mean we're not naming the debut album Fuck Hateball?
no, we're still naming the debut album Fuck Hateball.
It's just on the understanding it's a joke.
But no, seeing Ramage, we were annoyed that we didn't get to see Kingwich. They were playing on the day we got down.
Yeah, thanks, Max.
I would love to see that.
But we got to hang out with them all down at the event and stuff. A few of them looked after me a few times. I got getting lost. So sometimes they kind of help me and just kind of keep me in the general direction and push me. There's the next trace, that way, go!
Just like some befuddled.
It was a day. This entire thing was a massive days, but it was a good days.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah, Artist Camp was also fun as well.
Yeah, he can't be as well, don't he? It's a good thing about Boston.
Yeah. I always enjoy that. Although we were like right across from the fucking all the silos with all the shit. So when you came into the Artist Camp, it was like, oh.
Wake up in the morning, like brushing my teeth, like just trying not to part my lips. Like, oh no.
Yeah, that was one downside, but like if that was like the only negative, you know, like it was a pretty damn good time.
Yeah, it was really
The
fun.
continuous hangover was a pretty big negative, but you know.
You could just wake up and like wander through the tents, like looking dazed, and then someone would be like, "Do you need hot water?" And you'd be like, and then they give you hot water and then you go away. So it did feel very kind of homely for being a field.
Yeah, it's that kind of, it's lovely when you get that kind of community with metal. It's just like everyone's super keen to help each other out and stuff like that. Of course, you know, you don't always get that, and of course you get exceptions to that rule. But it's just nice seeing that more as, like the norm rather than an exception.
Because it's not a competition.
Yeah.
There's enough the people who are there are bands who are after fame and they get annoyed when they see other people other bands doing good. Except there's enough fame for everyone, mate. Like if you like a band and you know them, like them doing well is a good thing. There's no way it's a bad thing in your life. So even Hateball, I like to see them do well. Even Hateball.
No, it's just like
What's wrong with you?
I like Hateball.
I think as well, it's like in you do get like people who are just very mean about other people in the scene, like, you know,
Fuck.
exactly. Even if you don't particularly like a band, you should want them to do well. You know, like, it's if they're making the kind of music that they want to make, you know, they should be going for it. Like,
It's just themselves, that's how you get by.
yeah,
Go for it. Fuck it.
absolutely. You know, and fuck all the elitism, that kind
And
of stuff.
gatekeeping all that shit, yeah. I like a lot of gatekeeping, but I mean, like, fuck, I would play a Hannah Montana concert in a heartbeat. Just for the fact that there would be one kid out there, one kid, I don't care, even if it's like half of a kid, like, just they're kind of like, oh, it's alright. But if there's one person there, could be like, what is this metal thing? Like, that's worth it. Just for that alone.
Spreading the gospel of our dark lord.
I'll look for him. Like, you, I see you. This is for you. Fuck all these people. It's you. But yeah.
I'd go to a Hannah Montana concert unironically. Miley Cyrus is fucking awesome.
Non-related to metal stuff now. You know. Yeah, it's been so good, guys. I mean, I think it's really good to get you guys on the podcast too.
It's been great
fun,
fun.
man. This has been good. good talking shite.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to say before we sort of wind it off completely in that?
Our next gig is this month.
It's Hordes X with Hordes
Hordes
X
X,
at the end of the month.
Yes, it
We couldn't
is.
make the Hordes in Dundee, Hordes X we couldn't make sadly, but we were given the opportunity to join Hordes Outreach Edinburgh. There's also an Inverness and Perth in
Yeah.
Glasgow. There's other ones.
The Edinburgh one is on the 23rd. It's a
Yeah.
Friday.
And that's in September, isn't it?
Yeah,
This month, yeah.
23rd of this month.
It's like
So
2 weeks away almost.
yeah.
But you got who the hell is it? I keep forgetting the bands for that one. Get out your phone and make me look bad. Clark, you're making me look bad. But the bands that are touring is the headlining band. They're kind of melodic melodic metal, and they're actually pretty good. Not to say that
Surprisingly.
but melodic metal is hit and miss. Like you can get a lot of shit in melodic metal. Like it sounds very samey, but they had a sort of unique crunch to them, and I can appreciate that. And there's another band.
Not enough to remember their name though.
I'm not good with names.
Yeah.
You don't even remember your name. Jesus. And there's another band that's playing that I've not heard of before. They're very new. Beginning with an O.
Alright, so it's Ophanium Ophanum?
Ophanium.
Ophanum.
Ophanium.
Ophanum.
Often, yeah. Okay.
And
They're very new. I think they've only got like 50 people following on Facebook. Looking
Yeah.
forward to hearing them.
Oh,
And
okay.
I always love to see new bands coming out.
absolutely, it's always interesting.
Did you
Because
get the name of the headliner?
Shit.
Was it not Charybdis?
Charybdis, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
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 I literally just like
Charybdis.
Charybdis. I literally just read it, put my phone away, and instantly forgot.
And then Shadows Fall or something else. I can't remember. I'm not the person that should be recycling band names.
Yeah.
There's literally so many bands out there from all over around Scotland and that, or around UK local stuff that you just don't see and hear.
Yeah.
That's terrible names.
Yeah, no, same.
Names, dates, it can be people's names, it can be band names, it can be place names, street names.
And you're the front man. Did everyone enjoy the other bands tonight?
I know, the amount of times that's honestly even like the one in
You need to write them on the back of your
I know,
hand or something.
but I sweat so much, so you just drip off. All
Yeah.
these are sharp. And I just say Death Blizzard.
Yeah, Milkfest.
Yeah.
Milkfest was great fun.
There's another name, it's a band that's very similarly named. It's Razor Sharp Death Blizzard, and there's another 4-point name band.
5 Finger Death Punch?
Local. Not Fruit Punch. Sorry, there's-
4-finger fruit machine.
Yeah, something like that. Let's go for that. 4-finger fruit machine. But yeah,
You're a fruit machine.
forgetting bands' names on stage is like a big panic of mine. Because on stage you get crazy tunnel vision, and you usually get close to the last quarter of the set you say it.
Mm.
And you're sitting there like, I don't remember my name, I don't remember where we are, I don't even remember this next song we're doing, and I'm just remembering to breathe. And now I remember 4 different names, and ask you if you like them.
And you're just going to say yeah anyway.
Yeah.
That's it, like Simon from Sapien, new drummer for Sapien, he's like, he shares a practice space with us at 10th Street. I'm like, I have talked to him so much in the past few months, and I only just remembered his name the other day. But it's okay, because he also forgot my name, so it's fine. This is the thing, you meet so many people, and if there's like, if I can't put something to the name to make me remember it, it will just go straight out of my head.
Don't worry about it, Clive. It's cool.
That was, Jesus Christ, that was a while ago.
That brings me back, doesn't it?
Yeah. When I first started university, I was like, I introduced myself to the people on like my floor share in my kitchen, and the guy thought my name was Clive, proceeded to tell everyone else my name was Clive, and then Josh, who moved down to Edinburgh with me, we were at a party together, and like he just kept calling me Clive, just to get into it more. So for a while, yeah, people didn't actually know my name in my kitchen.
I always thought it was people kept calling you Carl and kept calling Carl Clark, and I think I started calling you both Clive to kind of mash the two together.
No, Clive was the first.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Lewis that thought I said Clive.
Fair enough. Right. Shall we wrap it up then?
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Much appreciate being
Yeah, likewise, dude.
One last question: where can you guys find your music and ways to find you guys, social media, how do you find check you
Find us on Bandcamp, we're Metal Nassau Bandcamp. You can also find us on Facebook, and they're the main ones. We're also on Instagram, we're also on
YouTube as well.
Yelp channel.
And our 2 singles and a live song are on Spotify as well.
And all other streaming platforms, most other streaming platforms.
If you like your live music, there's a lot more content for live. Check online, just search Nassau live.
Yeah.
Tons of it.
Nassau Metal or Nassau.
Loads on YouTube. A lot uploaded by this guy as well.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly on my other YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
But if you like live music, you can find us online.
No, if you like live music, you can come and see us.
That too.
But Hordes, 27th this month.
And then 27th of November, down at the Banshees or at Bannerman. I don't know where we're at. One of the two. Next year, hopefully, album. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you behave, you'll get an album.
If he behaves, you'll get an album.
I'll teach it what badge.
I'm deflecting.
Well, it's been a real pleasure, guys, taking the time coming on, and we appreciate it. So good. So thanks again for watching the Hats Off Here Down podcast. Make sure to like the link to the slide. Make sure to turn on these bell notifications.
Hit the notification, hit the bell. That's right, hit the bell.
That's exactly what
Hit
you
the fucking bell.
Hit the bell!
Hit the bell. That one. That's a good way to end it. Of course. I'll have my channel in the description for all my gaming stuff and my gigs to check that out as well. I'll have it down in the description box. Also, just before the end this off, we'll have a wee clip for you from one of my sets. So check that out as well. Hopefully we'll one of the live clips, maybe one from a wee bit, a few months back maybe. Just we don't see that. I really appreciate it, guys. Taking the time.
Thanks for having us.
Take it easy, guys.
Good luck as always.
If I can get Sims this one. Thanks again for watching. Thank you very much.
Peace out, y'all.
Let's do a wee thing at the end here, so hang with.